Hey guys, so this video is primarily for my sister, but I figured it's going to show some pretty good circuit stuff, so I'll probably throw it out to the community too. My sister's a math teacher, high school math teacher, and she's always answering my questions whenever I have some weird math thing come up in a game. And I call her, and she then can use, my examples, my game stuff to help her in her teaching, or, this is how you can actually use some of the math skills that she's teaching. So, the initial explanation of the game is going to be for her, so you experienced guys can just fast forward a little bit. All right, so sis, Factorio is a factory building game, and I'm just going to go ahead and start moving here. So basically, you're just building a factory to build stuff, build things, and make science and advance in the game, blah blah blah, that sort of thing. So I'm going to go down here real slow. I need to find my jet. I started out way down here, down by the water. I'm not on my concrete now, so I'm not walking very fast. And all these things you're seeing, these are belts, okay? Belts that are moving things. They're not moving much right now because we're not actually producing much. But these are belts. This is an inserter right here, this thing. I don't know if you can see my cursor. But then it inserts stuff into this assembler thingy, which makes, this one's making gears. All right, so it brings in this iron, makes gears out of it, puts it in over here. This is making motors. I think right there, and this put it out there, and then this comes down here, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you're making all this stuff, right? These are pipes. There's fluids, like that was lubricant, sulfuric acid. This is where a bunch of stuff's going on. These are bots that are moving things around. They're rockets that'll be shooting off, taking cargo different places. So, this is what you're doing. You're building things. And I'm going to go to the map view, and you can see this red area. That red blob is called the pollution cloud. So as you build things, all your assemblers create pollution, and the pollution spreads. Okay. Well, I'm going to get off here and go this way. There are these things called biters that are the enemies in the games. Enemies in the game, okay? They're bugs. And I'm going to go way down here. I've cleared out a bunch of them. And I'll find some for you. Hold on. We autosave. Okay. So these guys. Okay. This is a nest. This is a biter nest thingy. These are some of the bugs. Okay. And short version is if the pollution cloud reaches them, they will send bugs to attack your factory. Okay, so you have to defend against these bugs. All right. And some of the bases get pretty big. All right, where they're making new ones. Okay. So there's the enemy. And you just have to keep pushing them back. Okay, or you can build walls like this. See, I built a wall here. Okay, this over here is water. So I just kind of close off that wall. Got a bunch of laser turrets, some flamethrowers, and they shoot this way if anything comes in range. Got some artillery cannons here. All right. So that's just kind of general overview of the game. All right. Well, this is the map. Okay, this is my current map. And then this map is a circle. You can see the curved edge over here. Well, that curved edge goes all the way around. You can imagine this is a big circle, and that's your world. And all these red dots over here, all these red places, are biter nests. Okay? Now, I could take a car or a tank and go out to each individual one, take some artillery out, and boom, 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 boom. It's very tedious, though. So I was looking for a way to automate this. And I found a couple mods to the game. One of them is called AAI programmable vehicles. You can program vehicles, and another one is called aircraft. So I got one of these guys. One of these. It's called a super fortress. And let me get in here and walk over to it so I can actually select it. Where am I? Oh, here we go. Okay. So this guy. All right. So I got the super fortress, and he's got if you see over on the right, 2,000 health, which is pretty good. And I got like, this is armor, and then some power generators, and these are laser cannons. Okay, personal laser defense. They will, if anything's in range, they'll automatically shoot it. So, I've got them upgraded a good bit. So what I did was I've got 11 of these things, okay? It doesn't look like it because they're stacked on top of each other. But all of these are following this guy when they move, and you'll see this in a little bit. So what I wanted to do, because I took all 11 of these, and I would personally get in the lead one, set all these to follow him, and then I would just fly around, and the rest of them would follow me, and we'd come up on a biter base, and it would just annihilate them. So I was like, well, that's pretty cool. I mean, you take some damage, you got to go back to base and take damage, but it's still really tedious. So what I wanted to do, I was like, okay, we're in the middle, and I can program these vehicles with circuits, which I'll explain here in a second. What if I could make this thing do a spiral? Or if I could just send these guys out and then just fly around and let their lasers do things, right? Like, take out the biter nest. It takes a while, okay? It's not quick, but it is hands-off. So that's what I did. And we're going to go back up. Where's my jet? I'm going to take my jet up here because I'm too lazy to walk. And you experienced guys, this is going to be pretty cool, man. These jets are super fast. Where's my circuit thingy? Oh, there it is. Okay. Just click that. Look how quick that thing is. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, so one of the things in the game is called circuits. You can have these, they call them combinators. And there are 3 kinds. There's a constant combinator, which puts out constant values. There's a decider combinator, this guy, and it decides a condition and outputs something. And then you've got the arithmetic combinator, which does math on things. Okay. Now this whole system works by channels. Okay, think of it like ports on the internet. Okay, like this is the red channel. So this constant combinator right here is outputting on the red light channel the value of 1. Okay, and then it goes in here and does other things. You can also have multiple values. Okay, so this one is outputting X140, Y75, and Flying Fortress Rocket Launcher 3. Okay, that's what it's outputting. And you attach wires to it. Let me turn those off. You can attach wires to it. You can see a little green wire going down from that one to the input of this decider. Okay. And let me put a couple of these out. I'll show you what they do. So here's arithmetic. Okay, so you got input on the left and output on the right. So whatever I input, whatever values, okay, on the input, you can say of all the channels on the input, I want to take the health, all right, and I want to multiply it by 5, and I want to output that on channel A. Okay, so if I have a health input of 10, it'll multiply by 5 and output 50 on channel A on the output. Okay, so that's arithmetic and decider. Okay, you can say if let's say the health is less than, I don't know, less than 50, output orange, and you can either have it put out 1 on the orange channel or input count, like whatever this was. You can have it output that. I think it outputs the input count of orange and not that. Yeah, I believe that's the way it works. Anyway, regardless. So that's what I was talking about, sis. You can only do so many things. Oh, the arithmetic one. Let me show you again. Ah, crap. Yeah, so you pull this down. So you've got multiply, divide, add, subtract, modulus, exponent, bitwise shift left and right, and or, and exclusive or. All right, so here's what I did. Okay, so what we talked about is actually what I ended up doing. Where do I start? Let's see. Over here, there's a counter over here. This section right here goes through, it starts wherever it starts, and increments the angle by 30 degrees. Okay? And it does that by watching how far away that aircraft is from its destination. Okay? So this is a unit scanner. Okay, and I've got it inputting. How do I get rid of that? I've got it inputting rocket launcher ID 3, which is the central one, and then that item's or that unit's output is here. And you can see over to the right, there's all those little symbols, which if you look at it now, it means it's got 2,000 health, 250 fuel blocks. Let's see what else is on there. It is at currently X position 140, Y position 75. Okay, and other things. So what this one does, okay, so it keeps track of that one's position, goes through these arithmetic combinators, okay, x, y times minus 1. I don't know why I did that. X, y times minus 1, I don't know. And then those come over here, and the x gets squared, it gets outputted on blue x. Y gets squared, I put it on blue y. And then up here, x plus y, output that on D for distance. Okay, so the output here is the distance. Oh, I know what it is. Let's see what I did. What did I do? Okay, xy minus 1. And then down here is the xy value of where it's supposed to be going. Okay, so the difference in x, difference in y. And then you square those, and then that's input over here. And I've generalized this to D. So x squared plus y squared, it comes out D. And then if D is greater than 60,000, which I don't know, the actual distance will be square root of 60,000. So if it is within that distance, it turns on the green channel. Green channel runs through and signals it to increment the angle by 30 degrees. Okay, so basically when this thing's flying along, it's given the range, which now is at 2025, and you've got an angle. All right, and what I did was that lookup table thing we talked about. Okay, so these combinators over here, let's see, this one says 8,660. It won't do decimals, so everything's multiplied by 10,000 until the end. All right, so it comes in here. If A, the angle, is 30, output C from here. Okay, so that C is wired, a little bit of green wire right there. Okay, so that's wired in. The next one, if angle is 60, output C, and that one is 5,000, so that'd be 0.5 for cosine at, what did I say, 60 degrees? Yeah. And then it just keeps going down. So it's a lookup table. All right? So I did the same thing with the sine. If the angle is 30, let's say if the angle is 30, sine is 0.5. If the angle is 60, sine is 0.866. Okay. So then it outputs that, and then that gets fed into here. Radius times cosine will give you the x value. Radius times the sine lookup will give you the y value. And that is pumped over here, divided by 10,000, and output to the coordinate y, and it comes up here to... Where'd it go? Okay, goes to that power pole. Goes to that power pole and actually comes up here to the unit controller. And is used here to determine the distance. So this is how far away it is. Okay. The difference between where it's going and where it is. And then once it gets there, it sets the new coordinate. So then that resets it so it can fly there. And then when it gets close to there, it sets it to 30 degrees again further. Okay. Well, then up here... Come on. So this is that green wire is carrying the coordinates where it should be going. All right. Well, up here I've got this set that's watching each of these planes, checking its health and checking how much fuel it has. And if either of those get low, it turns on the red signal here, which turns off the coordinates coming from the other side, from where it should be going, right? So if red is 0, if it's not red, then output everything you've got on that channel, which is the XY coordinates and which aircraft it is. But if it is red, okay, if red is greater than 0, then it uses this X and Y coordinate, which, if you remember, is where it's sitting right now, because this is a manual switch. I can just turn red on, and that will order it back to the base, because it'll turn this red circuit on and take it back to that depot down there, where they can get ammo and repair and all that kind of stuff. And then this right here is a unit controller that actually tells it where to go. All right, so this is the cool part. Let me show you it actually working. All right, so we got these guys. I'm gonna turn on the map so I can move around quicker. Hope it don't make you too dizzy, sis. All right, so here's our dudes, right? And the coordinate system says, I believe angle 0 is to the right. Okay, so positive X is to the right, positive Y, as I recall, is down. So they will go in a clockwise motion. As the angle goes up, it goes clockwise instead of counterclockwise. What did I do? All right, so we're going to turn this dude off. Nope, not that. I'll turn it off. So then these guys should start taking off. And there they go. I will do my best to catch up with them. And I'm going to be zooming in and out kind of quick here. Alright, so there they go. They'll go off this way. Because their last point was up here somewhere. And they're going to come across some bad guys here. And pew, 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 pew. All right. Once I get far out enough. Alright, so now he's gotten closer there. Now I'll make his turn and start his spiral. And it turns out this is only a... It's not a hexagon, so it's every 30 degrees. I don't know, whatever that is. And they just lay waste as they go. I need to tighten it up because our spiral goes out too far because they miss some, but that's just, I'm still tweaking it. They just kind of fly by and shoot whatever they got. They do pretty good. Some enhancements I need to work on is, remember seeing the thing where the circuit detected if it was below 1500 health, or yeah, I think below 1500 health, it would take it back to base. Well, that's fine, except for these things are so fast. When they get back to base, the second that the ones that are below 1500 are above 1500, it just takes off. So they never get fully healed. All right, so I need to put in what's called a latch, a set reset latch circuit, so that when they get below 1500, it'll go back to base and heal up, but it won't actually take off until the circuit resets when they're all back up to 2000. So there, that's what your little brother does with his time there. So I don't know how you could use this in your teaching, but hey, there you go. Hopefully these guys won't die on this pass. All right. And that's what we do for our fun. All right. There you go, guys.